Swings your way, they say, to look before you leap. But he who hesitates is lost, so I'll just dive in deep.
There's an awful lot of water in this phase of Scooby-Doo movies. You ever notice that? Okay, behind the scenes info is getting really scarce now, so on to the basics. Scooby-Doo Pirates Ahoy was released on September 19th, 2006. It was written by Margaret M. Dean, Jed Eilenhoff, and Scott Thomas, and directed by Chuck Sheets. The film opens with a research ship sailing out in the Bermuda Triangle. The mission assists Dr. Rupert Garcia in the completion of a star map. Garcia doesn't believe in all the myths and legends that have cropped up over the years about ships and planes disappearing in the triangle.
Vanishing ships, sea monsters, aliens, all legends. Don't let them spook you.
However, later that night, the ship's compass starts to go haywire, and a mysterious fog begins to roll in.
Fog!
My God, Captain, we're being attacked by a stock CGI effect. The ship is then attacked by an entire crew of ghost pirates. Garcia tries to radio for help, but can't get through. And then the pirates blow the ever-loving hell out of the ship. But this doesn't seem to be a random ghost pirate attack, if such a thing can happen.
Maybe with the rest of the crew. Blimey. Board all hands below in the bilge, and we'll sort them out later.
The pirates return to their ship and fire one more shot as they leave, which sinks the research ship with Garcia still on board. We then dissolve to the gang and their latest shenanigans.
Fred, it sure was nice of your parents to invite us all on a cruise for your birthday.
So, Freddie, how old are you going to be?
43.
No, actually, Fred's looking for the right pier they're supposed to depart from. Shaggy's thrilled with the idea of taking a cruise with no mysteries to solve. However, Scooby finds something creepy still going on. But before anyone can get distracted by this, Fred's parents show up. Skip and Peggy, voiced by Tim Conway and Edie McClurg. Yeah, like most of the so-called Scooby-Doo canon, the identities and numbers of the gang's relatives is fluid. Very fluid. Expect more random family members in future films. Fred's parents are those kind of parents, especially his mom.
But you have to let me show you my new Susie J Cosmetics. They'll bring a little color to your face.
Hey, quit projecting your heteronormative standards on Velma, Peggy. Anyway, the gang gets on board, but Skip's being cagey about where the ship is heading. The ship's cruise director, Sunny St. Cloud, voiced by Kathy Najimy, shows them the amenities and then points out something odd.
What have we here?
Jeepers! What is that stuff?
Some kind of goo.
But before Fred can even announce they've got another mystery on their hands, Sunny hurries the group along to unpack. Along the way, Scooby and Shaggy encounter the creepy little guy from the dock.
Creepy guy number 4, check. Okay.
Later, everyone is invited to meet Captain Carruthers, voiced by Arsenio Hall. Oh, and in case you were worried...
Your ship, she's a beauty. Can I take the wheel?
No.
Carruthers finally reveals that the ship is heading for the Bermuda Triangle. Velma naturally expresses skepticism. But then the instruments on the bridge start fritzing out and Carruthers disappears.
Well, gang?
It looks like we have a mystery on our hands.
Yeah, in case you haven't guessed, something's fishier around here than usual, and rather than prolong this video with a recap of unrelated nonsense, it turns out this is a mystery cruise, and just about everything the gang have encountered so far is set up to the mystery being provided as entertainment. Except there's one problem with mysteries designed for tourists when there's a gang of experienced mystery-solving teens on board.
I don't know what we're gonna do now. You've totally blown my schedule, and we've gone through a week's worth of mysteries in 2 days.
Fortunately, before things get too awkward, the plot and the actual mystery in this movie returns.
What's with the weird castaway out there?
Man overboard!
I don't believe it myself, but by ghost pirates.
Unfortunately, nobody believes his warnings because the captain thinks he's delusional and the gang thinks this is yet another mystery set up by the crews. And then somebody jetpacks in. Seriously.
It's Biff Wellington, the eccentric billionaire.
Wellington is trying to set a record for the first round-the-world jetpack flight, but he's run out of gas and is stopped for fuel. Later that night, at the crew's costume party and dinner, Garcia rejoins the gang, and we finally find out who the creepy guy Scooby and Shaggy keep encountering is.
From o'er the seas and lands beyond our consciousness comes Mr. Mysterio.
Wait, Mysterio?
It is I, Mysterio, Master of Illusion! Look what I can do! Oh, shit!
As Shaggy and Scooby get roped into the show, Garcia spots the mysterious fog rolling in again. At the same time, Mysterio fails to hypnotize Shaggy and Scooby, but succeeds in doing it to everyone else. He undoes the hypnosis and splits, just as the fog fully covers the ship and the pirates attack.
Ye have crossed paths with Captain Skunkbeard the pirate, and now ye shall pay the price.
They are, of course, looking for Garcia, and when the gang is spotted, that triggers the first chase. During this, the pirates abduct Skip and Peggy, and Fred attempts to rescue them. Needless to say, Fred isn't happy about this, and the rest of the gang are down with the plan to rescue them.
Well, do we at least get a Scooby snack?
Shaggy.
Oh, you're right, Scoob.
Yeah, in case you ever wanted proof that Scooby's braver than Shaggy, here it is. Interestingly enough, it seems the gang are the only people left on the ship, with all the other passengers and crew missing. On the bridge, Garcia points out that the pirate ship left behind a glowing trail in the water. They soon catch up, and Fred reveals his plan.
Well, I'm gonna ram him.
On the ship, Skunkbeard makes a speech to his crew, which is a very vague affair referring to portals and treasure and ruling the seas. It means literally nothing, but hey, Ron Perlman's doing the voice, so it sounds compelling as hell.
There is only one person who holds the key to our destiny.
The pirates are clearly mistaking Skip for Garcia in their search for the Heaven's Light, whatever that is, but before they can do anything to him, they spot the cruise ship heading for them. Of course, we all know what happens when you pit a pirate galleon against a cruise ship. Fortunately, the gang managed to get off the boat before it sinks, and Shaggy and Scooby managed to make themselves useful.
You smell that, Scoob?
Yeah, coconuts.
And bananas.
Coconuts and bananas are found where?
On my mom's head.
No, land.
The gang soon find themselves on a nearby island where they regroup. Shaggy and Scooby go looking for food and water while the rest of the gang start building a raft so they can follow the pirates. After some assorted shenanigans, Shaggy and Scooby find themselves reunited with the rest of the gang.
Hey, guys.
Like, how did you get here?
We took the stairs.
Wait, stairs? Further questions happen when Scooby manages to trigger a large secret door in the cliff face. Inside the cave, they make another discovery.
My ship! I thought she was lost forever.
Everything seems to be in order on the ship, except for one thing.
My antique painting.
Is it valuable?
Only to someone who studies the stars.
And of course, this is when the pirates attack. Again. And the gang are captured. Back out on the galleon, thanks to the pirates revealing they have the painting, Skunkbeard realizes he has the wrong man. And it seems something else is amiss.
Mr. Jones, what does he want with Rupert?
Beats me. But I know one thing, these pirates have no idea where they're going.
The gang realizes that the painting must be a map of some kind, and that's why the pirates are interested in Garcia. As they sail on, they start to encounter other phenomena attributed to the Bermuda Triangle, like lost planes, ghost ships, and sea serpents. While the pirates are distracted, Daphne begins to weaken the rope with her credit card, which allows Scooby to bite through it, freeing the gang. They figure the other passengers must be below deck, and as they sneak away, they finally find out what Skunkbeard's plan is.
Once I have the Heaven's Light in my hands, I will be able to leap through time. The waves of years past will once again belong to Captain Skunkbeard.
When Garcia protests that there's nothing but open sea and thus no way to recover the Heaven's Light, the lookout announces she's sighted land. As the crew prepares to navigate the rocks, the gang head below decks and makes a few discoveries.
Remote control models, designed to look full-size from a distance when projected as holograms through this projector.
Fred decides it's time to make a plan. Meanwhile, the ship manages to navigate inside the ring of rocks where something is glowing deep in the water. The crew haul up the Heaven's Light, which turns out to be a giant meteor. Skunkbeard stabs it, cracking open the outer layer of rock, and then things get weird.
It worked. Time itself has become undone.
But it can't be! I didn't...
Arrogant humans. You are too small and weak for the power of the Heaven's Light.
This is, of course, the gang using the hologram projectors against Skunkbeard, but before they can spring the trap, the weather kicks up, causing a whole bunch of nonsense that ruins the plan. Oh well, time for another chase. When the chase finally comes to an end, Shaggy and Scooby manage to save the day and get the pirates trapped in their own rigging, and we finally find out who's behind this.
Biff Wellington, of course.
He was after the meteor all this time.
The meteor would give me the power to control the triangle and time travel.
Yeah, all that stuff about time travel and portals, Wellington actually believes that. This whole thing was so he could travel back to the golden age of piracy and become one of history's most famous pirates. Typical billionaire behavior. Shaggy sums this up more succinctly.
Like, that's nuts, man.
As for where he got such a frankly idiotic idea, that turns out to be the fault of his first mate, Woodleg Wally, who has a reveal of his own.
Mr. Mysterio?
Mysterio's motives are much more prosaic. The meteor is a giant hunk of solid gold. But before Mysterio can claim his prize, the weather kicks up again, and while a number of theories are proposed...
Raising the meteor has triggered some sort of volcanic activity.
It's the triangle, you fools! She wants her meteor back!
The conclusion is the same. Dump the rock back in the ocean. Scooby manages to get to the controls, and Mysterio tries to stop him, but fails, allowing Scooby to drop the meteor.
Oh, shit!
The rocks start to collapse, and Fred grabs the wheel to sail the boat to safety. After a few harrowing moments, they get out of the ring of rocks and back to open sea. That still leaves the question of what happened to everybody else.
Sunny St. Cloud?
And Captain Crothers.
Yep, Mysterio hypnotized everyone into believing they were part of Skunkbeard's crew. After some persuasion, he uses the trigger word to undo it. And yeah, the female pirate trying to kill Skip all this time turns out to be Peggy. Which says a lot about this relationship if you ask me. So, with Mysterio and Wellington secured, everyone heads back to Miami. And gets some foreshadowing in the process.
Wouldn't you like a nice ski trip to the Himalayas?
And risk a run-in with the abominable snowman? Forget it!
Scooby-Doo Pirates Ahoy is a mess. The story is barely there, the motivations of the villains are lame, and the gang barely does any investigating at all. There's some interesting ideas, and the voice work is fine as always, but the movie spends too long getting the gang involved in the action to make any of it worthwhile. Don't even bother with this one, folks. It's all just one big waste of time. And so with that, it's time to toss overboard another of the 30-plus films of Scooby-Doo.
Yo ho ho and Scooby-Dooby-Doo!
Here come those meddling kids to join the chase. No creep can keep them away.